Wrapping up the week on Tesla Shorts Time, episode 551, coming to you from Vancouver. It's July 24th, 2026. Here's what's wrapping up the week in Tesla land. Tesla is sending AI safety operators into Colombia and Chile to oversee the first robotaxi operations outside North America. Tesla posted a photo of a cybercab in New Zealand this week. The sighting marks the first confirmed appearance of the vehicle outside the United States. Production capacity at Giga Texas already stands at 125,000 units per year. Observers will watch whether similar sightings appear in other export markets ahead of regulatory approvals. This development continues the cybercab and robotaxi arc last reviewed on episode 550, where production start date and initial fleet size remained open questions. The New Zealand sighting offers an early signal that export market interest is forming even before unsupervised regulatory clearance is secured in any major jurisdiction. Now shifting to the hiring side of the same program, Tesla is hiring AI safety operators in Colombia and Chile to manage daily ride-hailing operations. The postings signal the company intent to begin robotaxi service in South America. These roles include oversight responsibilities while the network scales. Listeners should track whether similar hiring appears in additional countries outside the current 7 U.S. metro regions. The move extends the robotaxi program beyond the 380,000 unsupervised miles already logged in 7 U.S. metropolitan areas. It directly addresses the open regulatory approval question for unsupervised operation in new markets. On the manufacturing side of the robot effort, ICH passed qualification testing for material used in the Optimus robot. The company now holds a supply contract for mass production. The milestone supports the supply chain build-out ahead of 2027 volume targets. Further supplier announcements will indicate how quickly the bill of materials is stabilizing. Securing this material qualification moves the Optimus program one step closer to the cost per unit clarity investors are seeking before external sales can begin. Elon Musk described Optimus as potentially Tesla's largest product. He outlined 3 remaining hurdles before volume production. The statement aligns with earlier targets of 2027 for initial external sales. Observers will watch for updates on those specific technical and regulatory barriers. The hurdles Musk referenced sit squarely within the tracked Optimus timeline, where the transition from prototype to hundreds of units per week remains the central open question. Ross Gerber stated that Optimus will not generate revenue in the near term. The comment highlights ongoing questions about the timeline from prototype to commercial volume. Giga Texas factory construction continues, yet no production units have shipped. Investors will monitor the next visible milestone for cost per unit progress. This observation aligns with the tracked Optimus status, where volume production remains targeted for 2027. Moving to current vehicle sales, Chinese brands nearly doubled their share of Germany passenger vehicle market in June. The Tesla Model Y remained the top-selling battery electric vehicle. The data shows continued strength for Tesla current lineup amid rising competition. Next data points will clarify whether the trend holds through the second half of the year. Model Y lead in Germany illustrates how the existing vehicle portfolio continues to perform even as capital shifts toward newer programs such as Cybercab and Optimus. Battery electric vehicles reached 41.4% of UK new car registrations. Tesla held the top position among BEV brands. The result shows sustained demand even as global margins face pressure. Future months will reveal whether the share level holds as more competitors enter. Tesla brand leadership in the UK demonstrates that current vehicle sales continue to anchor revenue, while the company invests heavily in AI and robotics programs. TSMC is expanding 3 nanometer capacity, citing demand from Qualcomm and Tesla. The process node supports next-generation inference chips for both mobile and robotics applications. Tesla allocation ties directly to HW5 and AI5 development for FSD and Optimus. Production timelines at TSMC will determine when those chips reach vehicle and robot fleets. This capacity expansion directly supports the HW5 and AI5 and Cortex and Dojo compute roadmap, which remains the gating factor for both unsupervised FSD capability and Optimus training throughput. U.S. regulators have started drafting new door safety standards following fatal incidents involving Tesla vehicles. The effort targets improvements in automatic door systems and emergency access. Any final rule would apply across manufacturers but could require hardware or software changes at Tesla first. The timeline for proposed regulations will show how quickly the industry must respond. The regulatory process tests whether Tesla integrated door control software can be adapted faster than legacy mechanical systems used by competitors. A new supercharger site is planned for Isle of Palms. The addition extends the network along the South Carolina coast. Local utilization data will reveal whether the location supports both Tesla and non-Tesla open access traffic. Future site announcements will show how quickly coverage fills remaining coastal gaps. The new site continues the supercharger network expansion tracked on episode 550, where open access utilization and site density remain the primary metrics to watch. A Model S owner added a gas generator to extend range during a Midwest road trip. The setup failed to deliver the expected convenience and created new complications. Similar owner experiments will continue to surface until charging times or vehicle range improve further. The incident underscores that even long-range vehicles like the Model S still encounter practical limits on certain routes where supercharger density remains lower. XPeng unveiled the L03 as a direct competitor in the electric sedan segment. The model targets the same price and range bracket as current Tesla offerings. Early specifications position it as a volume challenger in multiple global markets. Sales figures in the first year will indicate whether the vehicle gains meaningful share. The L03 launch adds competitive pressure on Tesla next-gen affordable EV program, whose cost reduction targets and launch timing remain open questions from the last coverage on episode 545. Elon Musk explained his views on Sam Altman in a recent post. The comments focus on differences in approach to AI development. They reflect ongoing public disagreements between the two executives. The exchange adds context to broader industry competition over talent and direction. Musk remarks arrive at a moment when Tesla is scaling its own AI training infrastructure through Cortex and Dojo clusters. Elon Musk told The Economist he believes he became overly engaged in politics. The admission came during an interview that also touched on Tesla's future priorities. It offers a window into how external activities intersect with company leadership demands. Future statements may clarify whether that level of involvement changes. The reflection coincides with Tesla-heavy capital allocation toward AI, robotics, and robotaxi infrastructure. Toyota recorded 6 times the profit Tesla posted last year. Tesla market capitalization still exceeds the combined value of the next 37 automakers. The gap shows investors continue to price in future autonomy and robotics results rather than present earnings. Observers will track whether upcoming product launches narrow that valuation difference. The comparison places current earnings pressure alongside the capital already committed to programs still in pre-volume stages. Elon Musk combined Tesla and SpaceX holdings dropped $650 billion over 5 weeks. The decline followed recent earnings releases and wider market movements. It reflects the heavy personal stake tied to performance at both companies. Observers will watch for any public comments on capital allocation or operational priorities. The size of the change shows how Tesla valuation shifts affect Musk's net worth more than any other holding. A Reddit user posted a screenshot of a free trial offer for FSD version 14 Lite on a vehicle that already had the feature. The image suggests either a software rollout test or a display issue, It points to ongoing work on the supervised full self-driving stack. Owners will check for official confirmation of any wider trial program in coming weeks. The offer appears while the supervised fleet grows with nearly 1.5 million paid customers supplying training data. Analysts have reduced near-term earnings forecasts as automotive margins remain under pressure. The revision follows Q2 results that showed revenue growth alongside profit compression. Tesla continues to allocate capital toward AI, robotics, and robotaxi infrastructure. The company's ability to offset those costs with higher margin software and energy revenue will determine whether the lowered outlook proves temporary. Margin pressure coincides with the ongoing shift of resources away from traditional vehicle lines toward the three major hardware programs still in pre-volume stages. Regulators rarely move quickly on vehicle safety standards until a pattern of incidents forces their hand. The current effort to draft new door requirements after Tesla-related fatalities shows how one company design choices can accelerate rulemaking that affects every manufacturer. Once the standard is set, the cost of compliance spreads across the industry. But the first company to adapt its hardware and software carries the initial engineering burden and any early liability exposure. That burden lands first on Tesla because its automatic door architecture is already deployed at scale. Tesla's approach of integrating automatic doors with software-controlled locking and emergency release creates a different risk profile than traditional mechanical systems. Competitors using simpler door mechanisms may face fewer immediate changes, yet they lose the opportunity to learn from real-world data at Tesla scale. The regulatory response therefore tests whether Tesla vertical integration in both vehicle hardware and software gives it an advantage in rapid iteration or simply makes it the most visible target for new rules. Before we go, keep an eye on the next round of supplier announcements for Optimus, as they will show how quickly the bill of materials is stabilizing ahead of 2027 targets. And that's a wrap on today's Tesla news. TSLA closed at $319.69, down $54.32, 14.5%. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating or review. It genuinely helps other Tesla fans find us. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. See you tomorrow. One more thing, if you liked today's episode, our sister show, Models and Agents for Beginners, is worth a spot in your feed. Artificial intelligence explained simply for beginners and curious teens. It's one of the Nara Network's daily briefings, all free at naranetwork.com. New to the network? naranetwork.com/start-here picks the right daily briefing for you in about 2 minutes. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.